So after 36 or so hours, I have finally finished Dying Light 2. Just wanted to go ahead and talk about my thoughts in this game, and after going through and collecting them, absorbing some things that I experienced in the game, and overall issues and non-issues, I wanted to go ahead and give an opening, or at least a small discussion about Dying Light 2 Stay Human before I actually put out my full review. In retrospect, comparing the two games is almost a little bit impossible because so far we don't have the extra DLC stories. And the first game had a main game and then the DLC story, which is the full conclusion to the first game. And this felt like it had the entire story and conclusion in all wrapped in one. But we're getting two story DLCs, which we don't know who they are yet. Stories inside the city of Villador, pretty much going to certain people's backgrounds, or are we following Aiden and whatever he's doing now? So I'm just sitting here and wondering, in the long run, is that it for Aiden? Are we done with him and the DLC stories are something completely different? Or are we sticking with Aiden and getting more of him in a different location, or going back to possibly the first city, the big city that everyone remembers from Dying Light 1, because they say they failed in Haran. Well, the big thing for Haran is that we found out that there is an intelligent volatile who can speak telepathically, and at the very end of one of the two cutscene choices you get is Aiden outside the city with volatile appendages, arms, and the sun goes down and he becomes full volatile. Well, when the UV hits him again, when the sun rises, he should go back to being a intelligent volatile again, pretty much being human in at least in capacity of thought. So are we gonna see Aiden and our first protagonist cross paths? I'm drawing a blank on his name. I'm sorry right now. Crane. Sorry, my brain just worked again. So will Aiden and Crane cross paths in another city? Are we somehow following a lead that takes us back to the city and he finds Crane there? Or like maybe as the characters right now, Aiden and his friend here, are they going to find each other again? And maybe both of them run into Crane as a volatile? So I'm kind of at a loss for my complete thoughts because I don't have DLC story to tell me if there's going to be continuation on for characters in the city or Aiden himself, or are the DLC stories going to be the aftermath of all the actions that happened, and you're going to get the canon portion of the ending? Because we kind of still don't have that with the first game. Some people, well, since they failed, but they got versions of the virus out of the city, that the city didn't actually get nuked, which is one of the three endings in the first one. The three endings being serum, no serum, or Easter egg ending where you nuke the city yourself. Easter eggs could just be fun ideas and may not have any rhyme or reason to be something that the developers put in the game. Or could be just fun little snippets even though you do it technically twice. But the other thing is that Crane and Aiden shared some of the same side effects after being bitten, where they would, well, not Crane in particular, because Crane didn't get that until he took the serum near the end of the DLC, where he started swinging at the smart volatile with his fist, like Aiden does periodically throughout the game. So, are they sharing that trait? Is Aiden down the road going to become smart volatile? Because he seems to have no control of it right now, but I can't say in the long run if there is a Crane portion in the game that he somehow either helps Aiden learn to control it, or that they start fighting between each other because he doesn't want another smart volatile, and he doesn't want to, and Crane doesn't want another smart volatile, and Aiden doesn't want to become a creature. Or is Crane going to be doing something so horrendously terrible in another city or in Villador that Aiden feels like he needs to act and then remove Crane from the entire city? But in the long run, we won't get that until, I don't know, I believe it was months down the line where we would be getting these story updates, which is kind of sad. Although I still have, from my understanding, 6 other endings to go through, and 2 other ways to see the city, possibly 3 if I just mix and match the 2 factions. You could go one way all the way, one way the other way all the way, but there's no real cross between them because I think it's even number of like locations you can give to one or the other, so automatically it's going to be one will be in the lead compared to the other, and that's who takes over in the final cutscene. The final cutscene can be done in multiple different ways. I've done one which I feel I kind of completely failed the people around me but did good for the city. So it's kind of hard to say which one was right, which one was wrong, or where exactly things should be headed from here. I watched all the endings just through another video, so I know what they all look like and I understand where they're all coming from. But you have to find a way to make those certain endings happen. And in a game, it really is dependent on your choices, and not the faction choices. Apparently, there's differences between the faction choices and the story choices, and those big changes will be wildly different for your story as compared to what matters, what faction gets what. The only difference I've seen between the 2 or 3 options, because apparently you can have one of the 2 factions take over, or the third faction third faction that's completely different than both of them take over, and they all have 3 different ways of handling the city and its populace. Have fun. Just have fun with finding out how those work, because in the long run, have fun. I don't want to tell you anything about these because how widely different they are and how you could feel after each and every one of them unless you experience it for yourself. If you're going to watch the video. You're going to figure out how all of them differ. But it's way more of an impact because I didn't get spoiled for almost the 5 days that I did not, or 5 or 6 days I didn't have the game. But then I played through it and still didn't get spoiled by anyone else. And was mostly happy with my choices, but I feel like I could have done way better for everybody, not just the city itself. Like I could have fixed everything, but I failed somewhere down the line at fixing everything. Because sometimes you get emotionally invested in certain areas and it completely destroys the choice you should have made compared to the choice that you made because of your emotional investment to certain things. So those were just some So this is really just a little bit of a chat I wanted to have about Dying Light 2, Stay Human. And I don't know if I have hopes for it yet in regards to the DLC. There's just some theories I wanted to discuss. And hopefully down the line, we will finally get that. We'll finally get what the DLCs are and the story behind them. Either they're continuation on with Aiden, possibly Crane in one of the DLCs, or we're getting background stories for characters in the city. Big ones like Frank or Hakan or Lawan. But we'll have to wait and see. So, thank you all for listening. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And if you have not played this game, I would definitely suggest it. My review should be out in the next couple of days. And hopefully, even with the issues, you understand where I'm coming from, and you give it a shot if you want. If you want to play another Mirror's Edge type game, or if you're another zombie fan like I am. Thank you all. Y'all have a wonderful evening, and I will see you all next time.